B. Pollard's Ronnie Ancona. Reign of Terror could be on the cusp of coming to an end in EastEnders, with one Walford local having seen her for who she truly is. The sinister schemer, as viewers know, has wormed her way into Honey Mitchell's, Emma Barton life, living rent-free under her roof and taking out a credit card in her so-called best mate's name, leaving her in thousands of pounds worth of debt. Her treachery was uncovered earlier this week by newly elected local councillor Ian Beale, Adam Woodyard, who was disturbed by the way B reacted to their breakup. A subsequent discovery left him reeling when he put two and two together, realizing that the person who took out a credit card in Honey's name was none other than B, spilling her secrets in a dramatic showdown. Honey felt betrayed and contemplated how best to move forward, not wanting B to go to prison but realizing that she could con some other poor soul in the future if she were allowed to get away with her crimes. Billy Mitchell, Perry Fenwick, meanwhile was adamant that B move out of their house at once, which left Honey upset with him, telling him to sleep on the sofa. With Billy having failed to do the guttering as asked, Honey decided to do it herself, but tragedy struck when she fell from the ladder. It subsequently came to light that B, who believed nemesis Billy was going to do the climb, had tampered with the ladder in order to get revenge. Horrified that Honey had got injured instead, B wasted little time in devising an alibi, pretending she was doing a shift at McClunky's when the travesty occurred. Ian, meanwhile, was shocked to find out what had transpired and he wasted little time in pointing the finger at B, with Linda Carter, Kelly Bright, who knew B at school, believing he could have a point. Billy also wondered if B had a role in what happened to Honey, and called her out on it at the hospital. B feigned shock and delivered a convincing performance, with Honey suggesting Billy apologize to her for making such accusations. Despite apologizing to B, when it was later revealed that Honey would need surgery, Billy furiously told B to move out. With nowhere else to go, she took refuge in McClunky's for the night. Although unable to prove it, Ian remains adamant that she had a role to play in the incident. Will he prove instrumental in BA's undoing? He did promise to do good work for the people of Walford following his appointment as local councillor. With B evidently posing a threat, will he successfully assist in getting her out of Walford once and for all? In Walford, trouble never stays buried for long, but even by its own chaotic standards, the latest revelation sends shockwaves through every corner of the square. EastEnders confirms that the person who finally brings down sinister B is not Billy, not Honey, but someone no one saw coming, watching quietly from the sidelines until the moment everything snaps into place. For weeks, B has been tightening her grip over the square. What started as charm and confidence has twisted into something far more dangerous. She knows what people fear. She knows what they hide. And she uses it like currency. Even the strongest residents have begun to flinch when she walks past. Rumors swirl that she has dirt on half of Walford, carefully stored away like weapons she can deploy whenever she needs control. B has already pushed too far with Billy Mitchell and Honey Mitchell, leaving both shaken and desperate to protect their family from whatever B is planning next. But despite their efforts, every move they make seems to play right into her hands. Billy tries the old Mitchell way: intimidation, blunt confrontation, and warnings delivered through clenched teeth. It doesn't work. B smiles through it all, almost amused, as if she's watching a child throw pebbles at a fortress. Honey takes a different approach, trying to reason with her, appealing to whatever humanity might still be left. But B's responses are chillingly polite, wrapped in just enough warmth to make her cruelty harder to call out. The tension builds until it feels like the entire square is holding its breath. But the real shift begins quietly. It starts with small inconsistencies in BA's story. Details that don't add up, moments where her confidence slips just enough to reveal something underneath. Someone notices. Someone always notices in Walford. That someone is Suki Panesar. Suki doesn't confront B immediately. Instead, she watches, calculates, pieces together fragments of conversations overheard in the Vic, suspicious phone calls taken just out of earshot, and the subtle way B reacts whenever a certain name is mentioned. Where others see chaos, Suki sees pattern. And what she sees is far worse than anyone expected. B isn't just manipulating people. She's orchestrating them. She's been quietly linking residents together through secrets, debts, and half-truths, creating a web that ensures no one can move without her knowing. Suki realizes something crucial. B doesn't win through strength. She wins through isolation. As long as everyone believes they are alone against her, she remains untouchable. So Suki does something unexpected. She stops reacting to B. She stops engaging on BA's terms. Instead, she begins quietly connecting people, Billy, Honey, even those who don't trust each other, to the same realization. BA's power depends entirely on their silence. At first it seems like nothing is changing. B continues her usual routines, slipping through the square like a shadow with a smile. She still corners people in alleyways, still drops cryptic threats over coffee in the Vic, still enjoys watching panic flicker across faces when she leaves. But then cracks begin to appear. Billy refuses to back down in a small but significant moment. Honey shares information she would have previously kept hidden. And Suki, for the first time, directly challenges B, not with anger but with certainty. "You're not untouchable," Suki says quietly. "You're just unchallenged." That line spreads faster than any of B's rumors ever did. Still, B escalates. She targets someone unexpected. Someone who forces the situation from tension into crisis. A carefully timed move meant to remind everyone who is in control. But this time it backfires. Because instead of fear, it triggers coordination. Billy and Honey attempt to step in again. But this time they are no longer acting alone. The square is no longer fragmented. BA's biggest advantage, separation, has been stripped away. And yet, it still isn't them who take her down. The final confrontation is not loud. There is no dramatic explosion of fists or shouting matches in the street. Instead, it happens in the quiet aftermath of one of BA's failed attempts to intimidate Suki. B corners Suki behind the cafe, confident as ever, her voice low and sharp. "You really think they'll stand with you?" B asks. "People like you? They always fold." Suki looks at her for a long moment. Then she simply replies, "They already have." Footsteps echo behind B. Not Billy, not Honey, but a group, residents she underestimated, brought together not by fear, but by understanding. They don't rush her. They don't need to. The power B held over them has already been broken the moment she lost her illusion of isolation. BA's expression shifts for the first time. Just a flicker of uncertainty. And in that moment, Suki steps forward again, calm and unshaken. "You built your control on secrets," she says. "But you forgot something important. In Walford, secrets don't stay yours." B tries to recover, to twist the moment back into something she can control. But it's too late. The web she built around others has finally tightened around her instead. The confrontation ends not with violence but with exposure. Everything B has hidden begins to surface. Not all at once, but enough to strip away her influence piece by piece. People she thought she had under control start speaking. Evidence she believed buried reappears in places she can't reach. By the time Billy and Honey arrive, it's already over. Not in the way they expected. Not in the way they planned. Billy stares at the scene, disbelief mixing with frustration. Honey looks relieved but shaken. They both realize the same uncomfortable truth. They were reacting, while Suki was rebuilding the entire battlefield. B is escorted away, her authority dissolved not by force, but by coordination, by the exact thing she spent months preventing. Later, in the quiet aftermath, Suki stands alone for a moment in the square. Life slowly resumes around her. Shops opening, people returning to routines, the fragile normality of Walford reasserting itself. Billy approaches her, unsure of what to say. "You did that," he finally admits. Suki doesn't smile. She simply replies, "No, they did. I just made sure they stopped being afraid of her." Behind them, Honey watches the square, realizing that BA's downfall didn't come from strength or confrontation, but from something far more dangerous to people like B. Unity. And in Walford, that is always the real turning point. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to EastEnders Spoilers Official.